5 players so far that the Bulls have most commonly been rumored around acquiring, right? The first one up is Daniel Gafford. This is what kind of an early in the offseason rumor with the Dallas Mavericks potentially being interested in Lonzo Ball and the interest that lies there and how that could lead them to try to get Daniel Gafford. Reportedly, the Mavs are going to be searching for a point guard, and either Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford is the avenue that they're going to use to try to get there. And Daniel Gafford is still, I think people forget, like with how young how long he's been in the league, he's still only 26 years old. So actually does quite fit the Chicago Bulls timeline. And a matter of fact, if he is able to get there, now the question is that what is it going to take? I don't think you're going to get Lonzo for Daniel Gafford straight up. I think you're going to have to include some seconds, something like that at a bare minimum, maybe even more than that, depending on how they look. Maybe it's a 3-team trade. The Bulls do have some expiring contracts as well, maybe that the Dallas Mavericks are interested in. So, there could be some interest there. The biggest question in this is that how interested are the Dallas Mavericks really in Lonzo Ball? They're looking for a point guard that can fill in while Kyrie Irving is out. The questions around Lonzo, though, is that when he's unable to stay on the basketball court. Now, I think if Lonzo had, if he was on the court more, it's an easily movable contract. I think that's why the Bulls, when they signed him to that $10 million contract, a lot of people looked at that and said, hey, that is an easily movable deal. And Gafford's on a $14 million deal, right? So that actually can the Bulls can absorb that into their into one of their trade exceptions without needing to match the salary 100%. So there's a lot of avenues that can get it done, and it does seem like it's a realistic deal as far as all the machinations, right? The contracts work, the fit works with a team. He can literally plug into what you have going on there. He's good, all those type of things. It all fits. So that's there. The question is Lonzo their third option if they strike out on other ones? There's players like Trey Jones, Tyus Jones out there in the free agent market that probably aren't going to take a huge amount of salary to get, right? There's other players that they can go after. Rumored they have some interest in Drew Holiday, even though that's a huge contract. Chris Paul's out there as a veteran who can come in and fill in until you wait for Kyrie to come back. So there's a lot of different things and avenues that I think would come before that. But Daniel Gafford as a player makes a lot of sense for the Bulls and what they need, the play style, getting out in pace, catching lobs for Josh Giddey. All that's there. Would not mind Daniel Gafford on this team at all. I wonder if that would come. Does that mean that the Bulls aren't going after a big in the draft? Or would Daniel Gafford be the starting level big while you're waiting on who you draft to come in and be ready to start, right? That's the question there. Next up, a guy that a lot of people like in Cam Whitmore. Cam is probably the best upside guy of all of this, which means he's probably going to take a lot to get. I think that right now the Houston Rockets, Cam Whitmore is going to be one of the pieces that they dangle and trying to go out and get a star.